You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hold on, don't start without me. I had to get the music going. Larry Elgart, Flight of the Conchord is what we'll be using today. See if we get a copyright on that. This was supposed to be like this super upbeat, happy episode, but right before I started, this is like my 5th attempt, like just getting this started. First time I dropped a glass piece, it shattered all over the floor, so I don't even allow myself to buy them anymore, because this is what happens, then I do, this is what goes on. So that was like my 3rd attempt. I started the last one and I was playing honky-tonk percussion because it seemed like the way to go. Well, apparently that set my dog off, so he barked the whole time. So I went to change the record and I dropped on the way back from the table one of my favorite records and shattered it. Joe Walsh, So What? So What is crestfallen here. Glass piece is gone. I broke Joe Walsh. The only saving grace here is that it was $1.98, and it gives me an excuse to purchase one that was in much better shape than this one was, even prior to the pieces. But I need a fucking drink. Larry Elgart is not fucking helping. So I found a drink on Twitter. I had a lot of beers last week. Maybe we'll come back to that. Maybe not. I don't know. But found a drink. It looked fantastic. What's it called, you ask? I don't know. I already forgot. Doesn't matter. But in my last attempt, I managed to get 2 ounces of bourbon in here, which was hard to do with glasses on. So it's 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. You can use the concentrate, but I'm fancy as fuck. Now a ½ ounce of simple syrup. I forgot an entire ass ingredient, man. Okay, hang on. Don't go nowhere. Hey, that's some good, that was actually like old music right there. Okay, so ½ ounce of simple syrup. And then the drill here is we shake this until the shaker is frosty. Not there yet. Oh, you know what? It's frosty enough. I can't feel my hands. So now we strain this into a rocks glass. It's supposed to have large ice cubes. I don't have large ice cubes. So we're going to strain this motherfucker into here. And now, with this yeah spoon, we're going to do a 1 ounce float of some sweet red. I like some warm wine. Alright. That's how you don't do it. Wow. I spilled it everywhere and did not get the float at all. So when you do it right, the top part's supposed to be red and it's supposed to look amazing. I guess we'll garnish with a lemon peel. I feel like I'm on the Love Boat. Hot damn. Give it a little twist. Some aromatics. Put her in there. There you go. That's the totally wrong version of how to do this drink. Red's supposed to be at the top and look all awesome. But the important thing, boys and girls, is that there's 2 ounces of bourbon in here. I think you're supposed to drink that through the sweet wine float on the top, and that probably takes the edge off. You know, I give up. The float didn't work. Let's just mix this because it tastes like lemon bourbon. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so I gotta have to move this Joe Walsh record. I just can't. I can't with it here staring at me. Oh. Rest in peace, Joe Walsh record. I'm actually, you know what, I'm so thrown off. I can't even do it. Clearly I got the Dropsies today. I need to go somewhere that doesn't have a tile floor. I need to go upstairs where both Joe Walsh and the glass piece would have survived the vinyl plank. One of those, whichever the bad one is. I got the bad one. I'm paying for it. Everything's fucking. You get a glass of cold water with condensation on it, and you even get it in view of that flooring, and it just starts to buckle. Yeah, the whole thing's fucking shot. But I got about a decade out of it, so I got my money's worth. I'm just gonna have to go with the, no, it's the laminate. That's what I got. I'm gonna have to go with the vinyl plank, because we've got that down in the next room over, and it's flooded a few times, and it holds its own to a flood. So it's also got a better feel to it. I think it probably cuts easier when you install it. But, yeah, this somehow became a flooring episode. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I don't want to waste this drink, especially, you see the Rapid Talk Fine Bucket is starting to get plump. It may have something to do with the way I'm kind of buckling and folding up the bills when I put them in there, but it looks full and that's all that matters. So this drink, okay. Wow, that wine, they must kind of use that, it's supposed to be a fruity wine. They must kind of use that like a vermouth, perhaps. I've had a few bourbon lemon cocktails. They're always okay. There's a good apple one that uses lemon, but I digress, because here on Drinks with Vaughn, you get your one digress per episode. We're gonna call that a win. What else I got on the soundboard? I got the soundboard over here. The Outsider Social Club podcast. Oh, yeah, this is. One of my favorite sounders. It's for when someone gets muted in the Zoom on the podcast. Sometimes wielded as a joke, sometimes wielded as a weapon. Almost always just what the doctor ordered. But yeah, I'm got my ass kicked. My kid and I went to the river on Father's Day to float. Dad's floated free on Father's Day. So it was just $20 for her, and then I brought an inner tube of my own. Not to use, mind you, but no, actually mine was for me to use. I brought my own to use. You get one when you rent, so I just took a spare through a cooler in their shitty one. See, their tube, you can either get a regular ass tube with a hole in the middle, or you can get the one with a hole in the middle with a full plastic covering so you don't even get wet. Some people like those. Mine, on the other hand, has a thick mesh. So you get water, but you're not falling through if you dropped anything. You shouldn't have anything of importance out there anyway, but if you happen to drop anything, you got the mesh netting to catch it. And it's awesome black and yellow. So yeah, I have brought mine, put the cooler in theirs, It was nice. It's 6 Leaf and Lemur cream ales from Hillsborough Brewing, one of my favorite spring and anytime beers. But now we're kind of moving into summer, but I drank a lot of beers the days prior, so I needed something a little bit different, so a cream ale, a little sweeter. Yeah, it's good. We end up floating for 4 hours, and as I don't know if you noticed, but I am a honky, like 4th degree honky. I burn very easily. I've actually had 2nd degree sunburns across my back multiple times, and it's just back full of blisters. It's not cool. So yeah, even with the most sunscreen, I wore a shirt for most of the journey, my big bucket hat and glasses. I sunscreened before I left. Usually still get burnt. I had my shirt off for a whole hour, but then I could feel just roasting, like what a rotisserie chicken must feel like in its first minute in the like, hey, this ain't so bad. Ooh, is this starting to get hot? So yeah, I felt like a big fat rotisserie chicken, put my shirt back on. But it was a good trip. Right in the beginning we saw a snake before we were even in the water. Just swimming his way through the water to get to the bank. And now, I'm a big man. Not a huge fan of snakes. I like, they don't freak me out, like, to the point of a meltdown. I've had a big python on me and held a couple of larger snakes. You know, they're squeezers. I don't mind those. The ones that are biters, I don't want no part of that. Yeah, so I've held a big snake, whatever. Still don't like them over there. And it was actually the younger girls in the group before us that noticed it. So they're not doing well. So in dad role, I kind of tried to reassure my kid loudly enough that everyone wouldn't be thinking about snakes all day. And I think my kid had the line of the exchange, which was, I like to think he's got a family and he's on his way home. Like, yeah, it's like, well, you'll notice also he wasn't the super strongest of swimmers, so you don't got to worry about him because he's just trying not to die. So biting you or interacting with you in any manner, bottom of his list. His little nostrils were barely staying above the water. So like, he's no threat to you. He's not the Michael Phelps of the snake world. But anytime there's a large piece of grass in the water or something touches my leg, I am going to spaz the rest of the day. Yeah, nice, brought a little Tupperware container for my keys. Seal them in there, put them in the cooler. Solid pro move. I used to have a tubing crew years ago. Man, I put out on the internet that I was taking applications for a new tubing crew because that's the shit. Used to be at this very location that I still go to, you used to be able to just bring your own tubes and not pay them. And then it was, well, you can bring your own tubes if you want, but you got to pay us for access. So that's what I said, now you get their tube, so I just take it. But yeah, that helps. It eases things up. You don't have to plan everything. We had everything down to a science. You get to my buddy's house about 11. We do a little pre-gaming. And then we would situate all the vehicles. The crew's big enough, we'd usually take about 3. So it'd be the truck with a couple people. Truck with one person and all the coolers. I'd have the Jeep and I would put the seats down and basically load up all of the inflated tubes that we had done in that 11 o'clock window. About 11:30, you start getting everything situated in there. Third car would come along with mostly people. But then that car and the truck would go to the end of the river. The dude driving the truck would get out, get in the car. We'd take they'd drive up to the front. Yeah, sometimes we even had a 4th car because he'd bring a canoe and shit. So then I'd get to the front of the river. Oh, and actually if I get there early enough while I was waiting for them, I could use the jack and inflate a couple more tubes. So I was using my time. And yeah, everybody get there. You get there about noon. We'd get tubes in the water, tie them all up. My buddy had fucking carabiners, so you could just clip them on. Everybody was hooked. didn't have to worry about string. And then he took a canoe and he would put the cooler in the canoe. So we were in a big fucking bundle all hooked together. And if anybody was like, hey, I need a beer, he'd just fucking paddle over and flip the cooler, here's your beer. Fantastical. And you know, sometimes you'll hit stagnant parts, you'll get pushed out of the current, you're just kind of locked, floating, not moving. Oh, he could just come over and grab you and pull you out. There's also trees down, shit you can run into. It can, you know, you get pinned under those with a high current, it can be dangerous. So he could just steer us out. I literally just clipped up and floated behind these people. I wouldn't even be in their group because I like that little autonomy. I could still unhook my carabiner and go solo if I wanted to. They were navigating everything, steering us out of shit. I didn't have to do nothing. I just look up at the sky and the trees and get super cooked. Because the beauty of everybody being together is if you needed to pass anything around, I mean, you can do that. And it can be facilitated by the guy in the canoe. So yeah, and there's a beach about 2/3, 3/4 of the way down. Beach. Now it's all just dirt with grass overgrown, but it's a nice flat spot. They have DJs on Saturdays. There was a hill across there. People climb up and slide down the mud slot in the hill. So it's a good time, but I currently have no tubing crew, so I haven't been to the river in like 3 years. So I made it 4 hours, did not burn. I had a little red patch right above the kneecap. Everything else was golden. No more snicks. Everything was good. We got out of everything. I wore Crocs, which were, even without having the ability to put them in 4-wheel drive, a dog Nash ate the little handles. Even without that, they stayed on my feet in the water and I was able to navigate. Rocks didn't fuck with me. So I think I found my new tubing shoes. But yeah, it's pretty good. You get to the end of the river and then we would all load up in the guy's truck. And there's nothing better than a whole day of drinking and smoking on the river. Usually 3 to 4 hours of just floating and getting ripped. You get to the end and then get to ride in the back of a truck. That's nothing better than that. The heat, you get that wind when you're driving, you're still wet. You got about 6-8 people in the back there. Everybody's tired and happy. It's a good trip. But yeah, it was good to get back to the river and not burn was well, you know what? We'll call that a win too. Speaking of win, I finished this drink of whatever it was. Not terrible, but I also bought the ingredients to make a lot of them. So either I have to kill that bottle of wine or I'm going to keep making these 1 ounce at a time and see what happens. What's in a bottle? You guys want to list them by ounces? You too good for that? They are. 750 milliliters. I don't know the milliliter to ounce conversion, and I'm not going to learn it for you people. Sorry, I like you guys and all, but you're on your own. Google it yourself. Oh. Yeah, well, it looks like my TV's going to shut down, which is going to turn off my backlight. So I should probably shut it down. Wrath of Todd Fine has been avoided. Larry Elgart, Flight of the Condor on the platter. Couldn't have broken that one, huh? It had to be fucking Joe Walsh. So, for the Joe Walsh record, I'm Ron, signing off.